Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film The Fire on Thelma, Jordon, which is an American film produced in 1949 starring Barbara Stanwyck. Thelma was a seductive and mysterious woman, and then someday she went to the office of the district attorney to talk to him about repeated attempts of burglary in her aunt's home. However, the district attorney was no longer in the office and she only found the assistant of the district attorney. And he was very drunk, he was having problems in his marriage. And then Thelma was saying that the house of her aunt, maybe there were some burglars around and that they were scared. And soon, both Thelma and the assistant of the district attorney were having an affair, even though the guy was married. And then they were keeping this affair, and after a while, the aunt of Thelma, who was an elderly woman and very wealthy, she heard some weird noise in her mansion, and when she tried to find out what happened, she was murdered. Thelma immediately called her lover, the assistant of the district attorney, and then they started to discuss because it was a situation where Thelma could be considered suspicious of the crime, so they changed the scene of the crime a little bit so Thelma wouldn't be considered suspicious, and that was done. Thelma, and it was suddenly known to her lover, she had another lover called Tony, and she told to the assistant of the district attorney that Tony was her husband, but that they were estranged, and Tony wanted to force her to come back to him. She told this story to her lover. And of course, her lover was a little bit jealous. He didn't like to know that she was also married, but it's okay. And then there was this murder of Thelma's aunt. The police considered her as the main suspect anyway, and she was arrested. And then Thelma begged to her lover that he take on the case and to use his influence to protect her, that she was innocent, that her arrest was unfair, she didn't kill her aunt. And then the assistant, the district attorney, he got to take on the case. And while he was working in it, and in the middle of the judgment, it was clear that he was dealing with the case in a very bad way on purpose. He wasn't doing his work as correctly as he was supposed to do. And then the defense lawyer of Thelma had plenty of opportunity to defend her in a brilliant way. And her defense was so good that she was acquitted. And it was a celebration, it was wonderful. And of course that most of the responsibility for Thelma to be acquitted was the influence of her lover. And then Thelma was released from prison. She returned home and Tony was there waiting for her. And then it becomes clear to the audiences that since the very beginning, both Thelma and Tony were working together. The initial objective was to seduce the district attorney. However, Thelma didn't meet her initially. She met the assistant district attorney, and then she had an affair with him because she couldn't reach the district attorney. So everything was calculated. She would seduce someone in power, so she would murder her aunt and then she would have the help of someone in power so she wouldn't be punished for her crime. And she was working together with Tony. It was Tony who created this plan. And they were not married, they were lovers. Thelma told to the assistant district attorney that she was married to Tom and created all that story that they were estranged because she couldn't say the truth, of course. And then Tony returned, and of course he wanted his share in the money. Thelma wasn't too much in the mood of sharing with him, of staying with him, but then she accepted that. However, the other lover, the assistant district attorney, he found out everything, that it was a lie, and he wanted to confront Thelma. At first, she was supposed to get rid of him, but couldn't. Then Thelma confessed to him that she was working together with Tony from the beginning, and that he wasn't even supposed to be the person seduced. And when the assistant district attorney was supposed to say something, Tony knocked him out. So the other guy, he passed out. And then both Tony and Thelma, they left the mansion. And then, while both Thelma and Tony were in the car making plans of maybe going to Paris and traveling and so on, Thelma provoked a car accident, and then the car caught fire. It was a very serious traffic accident. Tony died immediately. And then Thelma was taken to the hospital, but her condition was very bad. Then her lover, the assistant district attorney, he went to the hospital to see Thelma. Thelma had confessed everything, but during the judgment, there were some suspicions that there was a kind of Mr. X involved in the scene of the crime, and it was actually her lover, the assistant district attorney, but she didn't tell who was Mr. X. When he asked Thelma why he didn't tell the police about him, she said he couldn't do it because she loved him very much. And then Thelma passed away at that moment. The doctor told that there wasn't much to be done for her. Her condition was very serious. And then the district attorney, he talked to his assistant and said that he figured out what was going on, that he was lover of Thelma, and that he unfortunately would have to report that because his assistant would have to be disbarred. So he could no longer work with loss. He would have to quit and work with something else. And then his assistant said that it wasn't necessary because he confessed everything and quit his profession, and that he wanted to have a new beginning somewhere else. It's not said what happened with his marriage, because his wife got to know that he had a lover. She was, of course, very sad. It's not clear if he was forgiven for his adultery or not. It's only said that the assistant, he left his job and he would want to start all over again. It's a very nice film with very great actings by everyone, not only of Barbara Stanwyck. It's a story that never gets old because it talks about evilness and the human condition of falling into temptations, and this is something universal and that we can understand and discuss at any time. That's all for now, folks.